Alright. Hello again, it's your good friend Rebirth of Legend doing another analysis. This is for our friend who's going by the name of C. I did a previous analysis of another Slark game where he's under the name Meliodas, which someone stole his name in this game. So let's check out what's going on here. First things first, for the item build. This is an item build I really like on Slark, and I'll fully admit I stole it from Banana Slam Jamma. Because I think it's really good, and I actually use it on a lot of heroes. You start 8 tangos and a ring of protection. Then you'll have like 175 gold left over, and then when you get to lane, based off the passive regen, you'll be able to buy a stout shield from the set shop, because you definitely want the stout shield on a melee hero. But and you also usually want a Basti on pretty much any safe lane hero. And that gives you plenty of regen, which is the 8 tangos technically gives more than the salve. The salve's just burst healing. Like the Poor Man's Shield. Like the Poor Man's Shield's good, but like if we stop and think about the laning phase, like what we're gonna have, you pretty much know you're gonna be against you're going to be in a 1 or a 2v1 lane, because they have an Enigma, so you know there's gonna be a jungler. They're probably not gonna dual lane this. And their lineup, the Wraith King should be a support, but he's jungling from the looks of it. I can't see what he's doing. Yeah, they're just doing some super greedy shit. But yeah, so you know you're gonna be a 1v1. It ends up being the anti-mage. Anti-mage is kind of an annoying hero for Slark. He's definitely not an offlaner though, so you shouldn't be too worried about that. I think you right here. We'll watch this in normal speed, because I think you screwed up a little bit here. You want to get the creep wave in control and force this guy to play like really far back. So you should be denying these creeps right now. He screwed it up by getting in your way. Like, he aggroed the creeps, and every time he aggroes, they'll see how they're attacking him while your creeps are still attacking it. It'll slowly push your wave towards them. It's really bad. So it's probably screwed up already. You could just tell this guy to pull, because as a Slark, you should be pretty comfortable creeping under tower. But yeah. So you usually do want to start with the Ring of Protection and get like an early Basti. Poor Man's Shield is good, but you don't need a Poor Man's Shield every game. This is going to be like the first item you get rid of, because you don't really need it that much. Like once you get 6 and you start getting like item constricted, you don't need the Poor Man's Shield, so it'll be the first thing you really get rid of. You probably wanted this second. Essence Shift isn't really going to do much for you in this line. The stat stealing is going to be kind of annoying for the AM. So yeah, they start dual laning you. Okay, it's going to get a little annoying.
Double damage.
There's no point where you shouldn't be 1-1-1 on this hero either, because you get a lot from Essence Shift. It's like doing functionally 20 more damage each hit. Well, technically it's 19, because you're removing 1 strength, which is 19 health. Oh, that's really nice. That's really good. Killing that AM is really hard. That's like a really precise kill, unless he screwed up a blink or something. Okay, yeah, so these are moments where you know you can be aggressive on him when his blink's on cooldown. He's screwed up. Anytime an AM aggro blinks, particularly early on, you know that for X amount of time he's going to have cooldown. So you did a good job taking advantage of that and getting that kill. This is where a Basti would be really nice right now. Like getting the earlier you get a Basti, the better, because it's going to increase your regen by 0.6, which is like 75% increase to your regen. It's quite a lot. See, this guy should be pulling right now. It looks like he's gonna do that. AM is really annoying because of the mana burn. The mana burn makes your trades really annoying. Slark's hero can trade with people very efficiently because of your Dark Pact, or not Dark Pact, Shadow Dance, during the mid game. But you can't trade with an AM because he steals your mana, and mana is really important to Slark. But besides that, you're doing pretty good. Like these are the good starting items. Sometimes you can get treads earlier if you want. Sorry, you can get treads earlier if you want, and that's nice because it lets you tread switch. So you go to int treads to activate a spell and do whatever. That lets you spam Dark Pact a little more. But what I like to do is, depending on whether or not the courier is available, determines if I'll finish my Ring of Aquila, which usually involves me just needing a Wraith Band, not everything you needed, because I usually come to lane with the Ring of Protection, which I think is really, really good. Because you notice your base armor is only like 1, 2. It's either 1 or 2. I think it's 1 on this hero. And your armor is really low because your agi gain is shit. Like, this hero has like some of the worst gains in Dota. It probably is the worst, second only to Alchemist, if I had to guess. And agi is also really bad. But yeah, you definitely could have gotten a lot more by having the earlier Basset. Just because it helps your Witch Doctor too. It's going to give him 2 armor to trade with people more. It's going to let him get off an extra cask or 2, which is also really good. It does a lot. This guy's playing little balls to the walls over here. Is his blink on cooldown? His blink is on cooldown. He's like skilling it. Nice, yeah. The AM can't do shit like that. That's really dumb. You guys are doing a good job punishing his stupidity. If they're spamming spells, you can also get an early stick is really good. Or even if they're not spamming, even if they're using it occasionally, like it doesn't have to be a bristleback to justify it. It could be like him using his blinks a lot, which I think he has been, will get you stick charges. So in a trade like that, you would have had an extra nuke if you had a stick. Because I think you only had 1 pact or something because he was mana burning you. If you had a stick charge with like 6 charges, that's 60. I think it's like 90 mana. 6 stick charges should be 15 each for each charge. That would have been enough to get you a pounce off too. Oh, this is pretty good. Yeah, this is how you want to be jungling. The treads help it out a lot because the tread swapping when you're doing this is like really important. I'll send you another video that I made earlier today too about like farming as AM, and it applies to this too. Like how to do tread swapping, how to like push a lane and farm a camp, stuff like that. It's like really useful. Oh, I thought you were gonna buy the stick. I was getting really happy. You did the tread swap in there. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. That was good. See, this is stacks. So you don't necessarily have to sit here and man fight the whole stack. You're gonna lose a lot of HP doing this. You can like weave in and out, just hitting it with your Dark Pact and not tanking all the damage, because you're gonna get really low here. Which like this region's still kind of low. Like that's 31 regen a second into like an HP pool of like 1,000. So you get stuck there a little longer, and you don't have to really be scared of that guy. You should have came closer, and you can hide in the tree. Nice, that's really good. So you should get these last hits, and like each time you're not getting the last hit, you just duck into the tree line for a second. That just allows you to be efficient with your regen. So like, if we go back, let's try and free camera this. Slow it down. Okay, so we're low, we weave over to here, we start regenning. Which is good. You can be like right here and you'll still regen. You shouldn't think anyone's ganking you right now, I don't think. A lot of people dead and just like respawned. Wait, did I just like did I go back too far? Did I go back not far enough? Is this where you fight him? I'm very confused on what I just did. Okay, I didn't go back far enough, that's what it was. You man up, you fight this guy, beat his ass, good job. So like to farm this wave, you can hide behind this tree. I think this should create an angle where the creeps can't see you, therefore you'll start regenning. Pop out, get a last hit, come back. And that'll let you get a little more regen in between those last hits. Because regen's pretty important, because that'll limit your jungling a little bit if you're too low. So there wasn't like a lot of opportunities there, but you could have probably gotten like 2 or 3 seconds of regen. Just like another 60, 80 health or something. Or 75 to 90 health, depending on whatever you are. So back to player perspective, we'll speed this up a little bit. It seems like you're doing okay so far. You're a little short on creeps, but you got you had 3 kills, so that's okay. This is the point where your farm should explode. We'll stop here for another second. I don't like the straight Shadowblade rush, because if you look at your mana pool, every time you use the Shadowblade to go combo someone, it's going to cost you a lot. At the very least, I'd probably also get a wand, and I like drums a lot. I think the mobility drums give you... I don't like drums on a lot of heroes, and he's one of the only heroes I like it on. And the reason I like it on him is because the stats help, but the bigger thing is like the mobility, like the 5% move speed. helps you like weave in and out of people after you go for a kill. Because if you have someone who's reasonably fast, like an AM or I don't know, let's say someone who rushed like Boots of Travel for whatever reason, just for the sake of argument. So they're running at like 400 move speed, and your base is 350. So if they can stay within vision of you, you're not going to get your regen, and then they'll slowly catch up to you and be able to kill you. You need to be able to weave in and out of tree lines. So the drum active will let you like get out of those situations by giving you like a 15% move speed burst. Because I think it's 5 by default, and then the active is a 10. And then the stats also help you a lot, because when you have like the drums, wand, Aquila, drums, wand, Aquila, drums, wand. Okay, I think that's all I wanted. Drums, wand, and Aquila. You can tread swap and keep your mana really high while farming. You should regen it like pretty quickly to where you won't be wasting stuff. This is pretty scary. You don't have vision. As soon as you see that, you need to leave. So he's an anti-mage. You should know he has got a pretty high level of blink. When you see that, you should like leave, because if this guy black holed you, you'd have died. He didn't have black hole, which I guess you could have clicked and saw, but you didn't even like click over and look at him. You have the tusk nearby, but at the end of the day, you need to be greedy and make sure you get the most out of everything. You end up killing the Enigma and not the anti-mage, which is fine. But it's just like you need to take calculated risks, and that's not necessarily a risk you're gonna get lots of gains for, and you could have died. This is good. Yeah, so right now, what you should do, since you're just finishing the Shadow Blade, you go back to base, you heal. You can't afford it. Do you use? Oh no, someone gave them to you. Okay. So here you go and look for a kill. And so the people you can kill are an Enigma. You can kill Wraith King. Wraith King's level 5. It's actually really awkward. There's not a lot of people you can kill right now. You might be able to kill the PA if you get like a little lucky. The Enigma could black hole you, but you might also be able to kill him if he doesn't feel like blowing the black hole, which he might not. So you'll see you can kill him, can't kill the anti-mage, might be able to kill the PA, might be able to kill the Jug. He's got spin leveled, so you could take a lot of damage in it, and he could dodge a lot of your damage. Probably can't kill him. He's got reincarnation. So like killing the Wraith King's fine. There's a chance if he throws a stun at you, and then doesn't account for your essence shifts, he could think like, oh, okay, I've got 340 mana, I've got 1 stun and my reincarnation, that's it. He sees you, he throws a stun at you, you essence shift break him until he's below 160 mana, because essence shift removes 1 of each stat from your enemy and gives you 3 agi for it. So you can bring him below the threshold, and if he's not paying attention, you can get the best of him. Like, that's happened to me. So even in higher MMR games, like, that'll happen sometimes when you're not paying attention. I had, like, a Pugna, the Degen Aura, removed my mana when I had enough for ult. And, like, you'll realize it too late when you're that hero. You're like, oh, shit. And the next thing you know, you're dead. Because by the time you realize it, it's usually too late. Oops. I'm still. So now that you have the Shadow Blade, you should be playing like more aggressively. You can trade with her kind of efficiently, but yeah, that's. So when you're doing a trade like this, you don't have mana. You can't do something like that if you don't have the mana. You could have tread swapped to int and gotten out. If you tread swapped to int and used your Shadow Blade, I think you escape there. But like you did that when you didn't have your packed up, and you didn't have anything else up, and that's what happens when you have a Shadow Blade. Like you use so much of your mana pool for. I guess it was a kill. It's probably a kill. That's a bug. So you use a lot of your mana for this, and you do the right thing. Like you should be farming this. Does that name have a black hole? He used it, right? Yeah. That's a really annoying graphical glitch. So you could farm this, farm that, and then you probably have to go back to base because your mana is just a bit too low. Like if you wanted to do this, you can get a bottle too to keep your mana high. You shouldn't be trying to trade with this guy. Or at least you should try and like quickly trade and then like get out with the Shadow Blade. You shouldn't try and stick around on that because she needs 1 lucky crit to kill you, and you're already like walking a fine line because you don't have your ultimate. So that was like, that's really bad. When you're in this phase of the game, you really like don't want to be dying. Your farm is also pretty bad because you did that movement, which is fine because you got the quick Shadow Blade. But you could have been farming and getting like way more stuff right now. Getting this wave pushed all the way up to here. farming out your woods, and you can do all that very, very quickly. So the drums lets you do that for longer, and then you get a later Shadow Blade, and you can still get those kills, and you'll have more stats, so you won't die in a situation like that. At the very minimum, I think you should be getting the wand, because she spams spells a lot. The PA spams spells a lot. Jug uses stuff. Like, you'll get wand charges in a fight. This is really risky. Because, yeah, like, you don't have... Okay, that was nice. He doesn't have spell shield, does he? Oh, he does. I know he didn't have it earlier, and he should have. You should probably farm this. Oh no, it's out. You know it's close to the minute, so you could have farmed that and then went back. Walking there is kind of pointless. I think you blocked that accidentally, maybe. I wasn't paying that much attention to the timer, but it's possible. See, like, I really don't like this because you don't have a mobility item right now. Also, a Silver Edge would be really good because you can disable PA's Blur. You can disable Wraith King's crit and his lifesteal. You can't disable Reincarnate. You can disable AM's Spell Shield. You can disable his crit. There's a lot of things you can disable on their team that make you fighting people easier. And also, when you go on her, it's reducing her damage by 40%. So I think I mentioned this in the early game I looked at, that getting a Silver Edge is fucking great. That's pretty funny. So getting a Silver Edge is really great, not just for the disabling of passives, which is a huge part of it, but the 40% damage reduction against people who build like blade mails and stuff, it's going to reduce blade mail damage too. Even pure damage gets affected by straight reductions like that. Because it's a reduction of like all outputs. Doesn't matter the damage type. Like that, my big issue with this is you see your move speed's only 355 still, except when you're in Dark, Shadow, oh man, Shadow Dance, sorry. When you're being affected by Shadow Dance, you're moving quickly, but like right now you're really slow. So you can't make like escapes after doing dives. So you really need like the SNY or the drums. Like the drums will get you there. Like you can go drums, Silver Edge, and then like I like getting an SNY on top of it. There's not a problem with getting a Silver Edge and an SNY. The main stack, so they still get the attack speed slow. Having the int from this is really nice, but it's not like 100% necessary. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I ate a little too much food. The itis. So like right now your farm is like kind of falling off. You're at like 5 CS a minute, and you could start farming a lot while creating a lot of pressure. Your team not having wards does hurt you when you're trying to do that a little bit. It's like a support Lina, I think, right? Should have been a support Lina. This could have been an offlane like core or something. Offlane dual lane core. Yeah, it could have been that. Okay, yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah, so you're like pretty ahead right now. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this. You do not want a Scotty against an anti-mage either. The reason you don't want Scotty against an anti-mage is because you're giving him a bigger ultimate. No hero should build Scotty against an AM. Even a Slark, because you can interchange getting an SNY and a Scotty, because they do very similar things. They let you man fight, and they give you a bunch of stats. The Scotty gives you a little more stats. This gives you a little more mobility. Or sorry, the Scotty gives you more raw stats, gives you more int, bigger pool to work with, gives you 100% like slow, not a chance to slow someone. And like another thing is the move speed. The move speed's big and it gives you more attack speed, so it lets you man up on people a little better. So you're gonna increase your mana pool by like 600, which means when you get low or something, or if he goes on you in like a prolonged fight or something, you're gonna lose all your mana, not be able to escape, and then give like a 1500 damage mana void, which is quite a lot. And once again, I want to stress, I think the Silver Edge is really important to get this game. You do a lot of this thing where you just like move around in circles. You shouldn't be wasting time like this. You shouldn't be wasting time like this, because you're just like moving around doing a whole lot of nothing right now. Like right now you could be farming, you could be split pushing, you could do whatever. It doesn't take Slark very long to get to fights, even if you don't have a TP, just because you move so quickly, even with just a Shadow Blade. Because you could Shadow Blade and like run to a fight, and you're moving at what, 522 right now. So you could have split, like this whole time, keep in mind where this fight took place, you could have split pushed bottom, farmed out your woods, and still participated in this fight. And you die. So let's look at how you take the fight too. Because you still, like, you're still not really tanky. I don't think you guys really want to take a team fight. They've got an Enigma Black Hole, which is pretty scary. You see him. Ugh. It's pretty rough. I meant to look at that more critically and I didn't, so I'm staying in the show, just let it in. So like Slark's job is you want to go on like the squishy people, and right now their squishy people are AM after he blinks you can kill, Juggernaut you can go on, Wraith King, you can go on all of them situationally, but none of them are like super squishy supports you necessarily want to get. Here I think you want to back out. This fight was like, you like stuck around here because you were shadow bladed, but like your team is dead. You're like in a shadow dance surrounded by 4 people and you're like, let me try and kill this Enigma who has a black hole up. It's a really bad mistake too. You could have easily gotten out if you just went, you could have, I don't think you could have gone south here because they would have seen you, but you could have gone up. You could have gotten up and probably gotten out going like this. Or like cut through here and then leap to the top up here. You definitely could have gotten out. Getting wiped here is like really bad. This is your team losing all your momentum. Yep. Breaks pretty much even after that fight. So you guys had an advantage, but it's pretty much gone now. Just a catastrophically bad decision there. Because like you got the kill and you show up at the team fight, your team just got destroyed and you have to make the decision to like get out in those situations. You can't commit to like lost fights just for, like, I don't know, sake of team unity or whatever you want to tell yourself. It's just really not good. Because you wasted a lot of time before. I'm sorry, keep yawning. You wasted a lot of time in middle doing nothing when you could have been farming more, and then still showed up to that fight, and then when you showed up to that fight, you could have left, and you chose not to, and then died. So this should tell you people are in your woods. And you see who it is now. Cool, free kill.
This should make my life easier.
Yeah, it's not bad to get kills like that, you just have to go back to farming. Like, I think I'm just gonna see you Shadow Blade and run into their woods or something right now. I don't think that's what you should be doing. And when they don't have Black Hole up, that's when you can like really go hard on them. That was a really premature ultimate. You did not need to do that. Yeah, that ult would've... Okay, you don't die there. Ooh. Oh, that's rough. So... I think you're gonna be fine here. Yeah, so Dust is going to lower your move speed by 18%, but this is increasing your move speed by 20%. And then, I'm pretty confident on that one. So it's not worth breaking your Shadow Blade just to remove Dust, unless you can go Invis again. Because you'll still be moving quicker under the Shadow Blade. Not much quicker, but quicker. So you don't want to break the Shadow Blade unless you can like remove it and then move quicker, which there's not many situations where that would be a thing because your Shadow Blade has a longer cooldown than it lasts. Sam's like, I don't think you've gotten a lot of creeps. Yeah, so you had like 105 at 20 minutes, and then 10 minutes later you had only like 40 more creeps. I know this game isn't like who can creep the most, but it's a really effective way to try and win games by just out farming people. Because if we look at their creeps right now, you have the most, and that's not a lot of creeps. Like, I'm criticizing you. Imagine how much I'd criticize all these people. I'd criticize them a lot, but I don't care about them because I'm watching your game, not theirs. That buyback hurts. Yeah, at this point your team's in really deep shit. It was that fight that cost you the game, and not split pushing hard enough. Because they don't have... If we look at their stuns, they've got one stun. They've got a Wraith King stun that you can easily Dark Pact. And like maybe if... Yeah, she's got a Basher, so I guess to an extent you have to worry about that. What the fuck? She still doesn't have a BKB, so see a Silver Edge would let you get kills on her too. Wraith King does have a BKB, so it wouldn't be too great for kills on him, but there was a huge window where that Silver Edge could have gotten you a lot of kills. But now you bought back and then died, so you're in really bad shape right now. AM is now pulled ahead of you in farm. He was an offlane AM, which is stupid from the beginning, but I should be looking at you right now, I think. So here, okay, so we know black hole's on cooldown. Yeah, you just gotta get the lanes pushed out right now. I would try and play really greedy on this side of the map, and like force them to keep responding to you, and then you not dying. Like that's the really important part. You can't die when you're pulling them to you. Because now you're just letting them. You're letting them take the fight to you. You're letting them take the fight to you, which is on their terms. When you can be wasting their time and creating space for your team while taking their farm. This is dire farm. You can take their farm more or less pretty safely. Like the only thing that can really kill you is like a black hole, right? Not having another mobility item also hurts you in that regard, but either way, you should probably be able to pretty safely farm the dire side of the map right now. Create some pressure, maybe get some kills and get that tower, while robbing them of farm and creating space for your team. Because like they can group and start pushing bottom or something as their next objective, go take Roshan, and then you take the tier 2 top, you start pressuring the tier 3. But if you could, if you feel you can contest those fights, then that's something you do. But if you don't feel you can contest it, then your other option is split push. You either fight or you push. Easy kill. That was good. Buys back. It's game. Yeah, you all get affected by the black hole. You probably screwed up some of your positioning there. I'll check that out because there's no reason. Like in this fight, you kill the anti-mage. He buys back and does he get travels? There's no money for travels. He just has to run back over. So you probably don't want to be grouped like this, because they can like blink whatever you. Okay, so you don't want to be grouped with your team going for this. You want to go onto the back line. So when you started fighting there, you could have went on the PA, you could have went on the Juggernaut. You also don't have your ult, which makes it kind of scary. You need to choose your fight a little better. And then it gets a huge black hole, and that's the game. Like you could have went in the back and looked for him and stopped his blink. And that might have helped your team win that fight. It's like you're invis, they don't know where the hell you are. You can, as soon as you see them here, you should know like shit's about to go down. If your team's gonna insist on fighting, because that guy bought back, then you run to the back and you look for someone else. When do we see him? So we see the Enigma now, you should have been running for him. Yeah, that's the game. I mean, it might not be the game, but it should be. I thought this game was 40. Oh no, 37. Okay, I thought it was 47 minutes long. But yeah, so big thing was when you got the Shadow Blade, you wasted a lot of time. So you do want to get a pick off with the Shadow Blade. Their lineup in particular would have been kind of annoying to pick off. Really, it's just kind of the Enigma and the PA. And the other two if they fuck up, and the other three if they fuck up. Like the Juggernaut just needs to spin TP, he'll live every time. The Wraith King just needs to not use too much mana, and he'll reincarnate. The AM can blink away, but if you catch him blinking to a camp and then Shadow Blading onto him, you can probably kill him. In that respect, the Silver Edge would have helped you a lot, because it makes the AM take more damage, / you take less damage from him. The same goes for the PA. She won't dodge any of your right clicks, which means she's losing more Essence Shift stacks. So that's really good too. The other two you're disabling crit and lifesteal on. So yeah, I also think you would want the wand too. Like you had extra slots. If we go back to here, you've got extra. Okay, that was too far back. Still too far back. Alright, let's look right here. Okay, you have your first ultimate orb. You could drop a Poor Man's Shield. Poor Man's Shield is useless at this point. You don't really care about that. And have a wand. The wand gives you 4 stats and everything, and gives you burst healing, which could help you a lot in fights. Particularly in AM is gonna steal your mana. Like you might get a wand and a pounce off, which might save you in some fights. And you could have you don't necessarily need TPs on him either, because you move so quickly, and you should be kind of dictating where shit happens. So like a lot of times I won't hold a TP for the early parts of the game. Later in the game you do need a TP, like past 30 minutes where there can be like Rax fights and stuff, or not, that's not necessarily 30, like 20, 25 minutes when there could be like Rax fights. And you could determine that based on their lineup, what you think they can do and stuff like that. Then you need to have a TP when you're like slow pushing. But when you're like skirmishing, farming their woods, and you're looking for pickoffs, you can just have more stat items, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's one of the few heroes I'd say that about, just because like if there's a fight, if you're up here, and there's a fight in middle, you can get there in like 10 seconds. Like almost anti-mage level ability to get places, just because of how fast you move with your Shadow Blade up, and like move speed items. So you still need to farm more. Like this is definitely better than your other game, and it was from a safe lane position, so that's kind of expected. But like Slark can farm almost 10 creeps a minute, while getting pickoffs. And you just need to put yourself in the situations for that, like being over here the whole time. Like once you have your Shadow Blade, you should be over here. This should be where you live. Alternatively, if you really want to rush the Shadow Blade, I think you should get a bottle, and then you just get that rune every 2 minutes, farm their woods, and get kills, and then keep repeating. Because you need something for your mana, and tread swapping isn't really enough with the Shadow Blade, so you need like a larger pool and other stuff. But I hope that helps out. I'll send you this video and the AM laning one, which will hopefully show you. It's the same pattern in the anti-mage video as with the Slark, except with Slark can do it starting at level 6 once he has his pack maxed, or sorry, once he has a first level in Shadow Dance, kind of like how you were farming the woods, but you just have to do it more consistently and like more methodical. But I hope that helps. I'll close up this video, and best of luck in future games. Feel free to send me more replays if you want. Never opposed to helping people out.